Organ donation. This is a topic which little is known of, but very often asked. Muslims often need organ donation but cannot receive them because there is no match. The reason being, the majority of Muslims think it is haram. Organ donation is a deep topic, and according to the scholars of Islam, it needs to be carefully understood in the light of Sharia ruling and medical research. In recent years, with the advancement of science and technology, many have asked the question if a Muslim can donate their organs. Muslim scholars around the world have researched in great detail and addressed the issues at hand. We will discuss their general ruling and conclusions in this video. Important note, what is meant by organ is any part of a person, be it tissue cells, blood and so on, such as cornea, whether it's be still attached or has been separated. Is organ donation allowed in Islam? Yes. Fatwa stating that it is permissible to donate organs have been issued by a number of conferences, seminars and committees, including the International Islamic Conference held in Malaysia, the majority of the Islamic Fiqh Councils, Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islami, the Council of Senior Scholars in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the Fatwa Committee in Jordan, Kuwait, Egypt and Algeria. These resolutions were issued after lengthy discussions among a number of jurists, doctors and specialists. It is also the view of a number of scholars and researchers, including Sheikh Abdul Rahman ibn Saidi. However, donating organs comes with conditions under the Sharia. Let's take a closer look at what Islamic scholars say. Organ donation can generally be divided into four main categories. 1. Donating organs while a person is alive. 2. Donating organs after a person has died. 3. Donating organs on which life depends. And 4. Donating organs on which life does not depend. What do the scholars of Islam say about donating organs while a person is alive? It is permitted to transplant or graft an organ from one part of a person's body to another, so as long as one is careful to ascertain that the benefits of this operation outweigh any harm that may result from it, and on the condition that this has been done to replace something that has been lost, or to restore its appearance or regular function, or to correct some fault or disfigurement which is causing physical or psychological distress. It is permitted to transplant an organ from one person's body to another, if it is an organ that can regenerate itself, like skin or blood, on the condition that the donor is mature and understands what he is doing and that all other pertinent Sharia conditions are met. It is permitted to use part of an organ that has been removed because of illness to benefit another person, such as using the cornea of the eye removed because of illness. 2. What do the scholars of Islam say about donating organs after a person has died? It is permitted to transplant an organ from the dead person to a living person whose life depends on receiving that organ, or whose vital functions are otherwise impaired, on the condition that permission is given either by the person before his death or by his heirs, or by the leader of the Muslims in cases where the dead person's identity is unknown or he has no heirs. Care should be taken to ensure that there is a proper agreement to the transplant of organs in the cases described, on the conditions that there is no buying or selling of organs involved. It is not permitted to trade human organs under any circumstances, but the question of whether the beneficiary may spend money to obtain an organ he needs or to show his appreciation is a matter which is still under scholarly debate. Number 3. What do the scholars of Islam say about donating organs on which life depends? It is haram, forbidden, to take organs on which life depends, such as taking a heart from a living person to transplant into another person. It is haram, forbidden, to take an organ from a living person when doing so could impair an essential vital function, even though his life itself may not be under threat, such as removing the corneas of both eyes. However, removing organs which will lead to only partial impairment is a matter which is still under scholarly discussion. Number 4. What do the scholars of Islam say about donating organs on which life does not depend? It is permissible to donate organs so as long as the donation will not lead to the death of the donor. It is haram, forbidden, to transplant an organ from a living person when its removal may cause an essential function to cease, even though his life does not depend upon it, such as taking the corneas of both eyes. But if he will still have partial function after removing it, then this matter is subject to further discussion and is still under scholarly debate. Can we donate blood? Yes, it is permissible for Muslims to donate blood. An important thing to note is that Muslims can donate organs and blood to both Muslims and non-Muslims. Why should we donate? Harm must be eliminated. Eliminating harm is one of the objectives of Islamic law. In the context of organ transplantation, this procedure fulfills the objectives of preserving human life. Allah promises great rewards for the efforts of preserving human life. This is mentioned in the Qur'an as follows: "And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of the whole of mankind. Given two situations with different degrees of harmfulness, priority is given to avoid the more harmful by choosing the less harmful. In the context of organ transplantation, the more harmful situation is to allow the patient in need of organ transplantation to pass away. Therefore, in this situation, the lesser harm is given higher priority, which is donating organs from the deceased donor to be transplanted to the patient in need of that organ. Statistics show that 66% of Black, Asian and some ethnic minority communities living in the United Kingdom refuse to give permission for their loved ones' organs to be donated, compared to the 44% of the rest of the population. Patients from Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities are more likely to need an organ transplant than the rest of the UK, as they are more susceptible to illnesses such as hypertension, diabetes and certain forms of hepatitis, all of which may result in organ failure and the need for a life-saving transplant. Blood and tissue types are among the most important factors when organs such as kidneys are allocated to patients, and organ matching is likely to be closer when the ethnicity of the donor and recipient are the same. As a result, on average, Black, Asian, ethnic minority communities will wait a year longer for a kidney transplant than a white patient. Many may die while waiting for an organ transplant to become available. The purpose of this video is to raise awareness of the permissibility of organ donations in Islam and to give a general understanding in the categories mentioned. For more information on organ donations from an Islamic perspective, please go to the Islam Q&A website on www.islamqa.info/en. Please don't forget to like us and share us on the Digital Mimbar Facebook and Twitter. Please also subscribe to the Digital Mimbar YouTube channel in the links below.